then of course it will be moving towards the back side and upward, where it is connected with the duodenum, continuous as the duodenum, right? So this is the average. This is in the asthenic or the cylindrical person, and if someone who is having a good build, it is basically more horizontal. Now coming to the location, so you should know, just like the anatomical location in a living person where your stomach is basically situated. So we know that the stomach, this is the umbilical. We know you can divide either into the 4 quadrant or maybe these 9 regions. So basically stomach is present in upper left quadrant. अगर हम 4 quadrant की बात करते हैं तो upper left quadrant over here you can see in this picture. Or if you talk about the 9 regions, this is the umbilical region, this is the epigastric, this is the hypogastric, this is the hypochondric left side. So stomach is mainly present in the epigastric as well. So this is where the stomach is located. So this is the hypochondric area. This is basically your epigastric, and this is the umbilical. Sometime distended may be present in this area, which is your basically your umbilical, right? So mainly in this area or upper left quadrant of your, in relation to the upper abdominal wall or anterior abdominal wall. Now, as far as the vertebral level, so stomach located at the level of from T10 vertebra up to L3 vertebra, which is the lumbar. So it is not exactly in line with that of the lumbar vertebra. You can see from the, it extends from the T10 or the thoracic 10 vertebra up to the L3 vertebra. And of course, the capacity varies from 30 ml at birth, which may increases up to 1 to 1 liter at around puberty, and maybe in the late adulthood or in the elderly people, the capacity might increase up to 2000, 1.5 to 2 liter, you can say. So this is the general, to say, the capacity of the stomach. I suggest you don't open your videos, don't open your voice, okay? So let us see what are the external features related to stomach. So this very important organ is having everything like two orifices. One is the cardiac orifice, which basically opens towards the esophagus. One is the pyloric orifice, which basically continues towards your duodenum. So it is having 2 orifices. One is the cardiac, level is at around T11, and in the surface, if you want to locate in a living person, it lies basically behind left 7th costal cartilage towards the left side, around 2.5 centimeter, like that. And the pyloric end lies mainly at the level of L1 vertebra, roughly 1.2 centimeter right to the median plane. This pyloric orifice or the end can be identified by the presence of a groove, which is termed as, which is basically a groove which carry a very important vein, which is the prepyloric vein of Mayo. So you can identify the extent of pyloric end by palpating, because you will be having one sphincter, which is the pyloric sphincter, which is anatomical. Anatomical means you can palpate because of the rich muscle layer and the rich muscle tissue, while the cardiac sphincter, which basically guards your cardiac orifice, is just a physiological sphincter. So means it will work as a sphincter, work as a gate, but practically if you want to palpate, if you want to look, there will be no much muscle tissue in that area. So external feature, you can say 2 orifices. One is towards the esophagus, that is the cardiac orifice. Level of cardiac orifice is T11. Pyloric, transpyloric plane already आपको बताया गया होगा जब एब्डोमेन का किसी ने इंट्रोडक्शन या एंटीरियर एब्डोमिनल वॉल पढ़ाई है. So this is the same plane. That's why this is the pyloric. If you remember the transpyloric plane which passes through the L1 vertebra, so you can easily correlate. So basically 2 orifices. One is the cardiac one, second is the pyloric, and you can easily identify this pyloric by the presence of a groove which carries prepyloric vein within that groove. two sphincter. One is the cardiac at cardiac end, cardiac, which is physiological only, and this is the anatomical one. Now, if you look at this picture, before we move and we study other parts, just I would like you to look at this picture. Here, this is the esophageal end, this is the pyloric end, and there is a groove here which basically separate this pyloric part with that of the duodenum, and that groove basically carry one very important vein also, prepyloric vein also, prepyloric vein of the Mayo. So here, this is the cardiac end, this is your pyloric end. You can see one curvature over here. You can see another curvature over here. So this is the lesser curvature. This is the greater curvature. You can see one body, I mean one side. This is the surface, which is the anterior surface. And similarly, you will be having one posterior surface. So you have one lesser curvature, greater curvature. You have anterior surface, you have posterior surface. These two orifices, which is functional. And you have the pyloric sphincter over here, which is basically anatomical also, other than the functional aspect, because here there is hypertrophy of the muscular tissue, which anatomically forms a sphincter over here. Gate sphincter means which control basically the passage of anything from this area to this area, right? So everything is two orifices and two parts. We will see what are the parts in coming slides. So first of all, lesser curvature. Second is the greater curvature, and the lesser curvature and the greater curvature, they are marked by two notches basically. So if you look at this figure here, this is the cardiac notch. So cardiac notch is basically on the greater curvature, where this greater curvature meets with that of the esophagus. Similarly, if you look here, this is the body of the stomach. So another notch which is termed as the angular. This is the notch at the junction of the body with that of the pyloric part of the stomach towards the on the inferior aspect of your lesser curvature. So it is having basically two notches. This is the cardiac notch. Here, this is the angular notch. So you can see two curvature, lesser as well as greater. Lesser curvature can be is having one notch, which is your angular notch. You can very well means you can see in this thing. This is angular notch, is also termed as incisura angularis. To the lesser omentum, आपने पेरिटोनियम जब पढ़ी होगी, आपको पढ़ाई होगी तो बताया होगा lesser omentum, greater omentum. So the lesser curvature of stomach give attachment to the lesser omentum. Similarly, your greater curvature give attachment to the greater omentum, right? So you have two notches, then two surfaces. One is anterior superior and one is the posterior inferior. This is according, because in anatomical position, the anterior surface faces anterior, faces anteriorly as well as little bit towards the superior aspect, while the posterior is facing basically inferiorly. So you can see here, this is anterior surface. Similarly, you have on the posterior side posterior surface, lesser and the greater curvature. Lesser curvature give attachment to the lesser omentum, greater curvature give attachment to your greater omentum. So these are the curvatures and surfaces. Now, if we talk about the parts of stomach, just look here. Just look here. You can basically divide this whole stomach into basically two parts. One is the cardiac part, which is towards the cardiac end, towards the cardiac orifice. And then second one is your basically the pyloric part, which is having two parts within it, which is the pyloric antrum and the pyloric canal. So if you look here, this is the notch, which is the notch, angular notch, or this is the lesser curvature. So this is the angular notch. And if you draw a line inferior and towards the left side, just an imaginary line here, imaginary line is the cardiac part, And this cardiac part is basically divided into two parts. One is the fundus and one is the body. How you will be dividing, I will tell you that also. So here, this is the cardiac part, which is here. And if you draw a horizontal line from the cardiac notch over here, the part which lies superior to that will be termed as the fundus, and this lower fundus is this domed shaped part basically of the stomach, situated above the horizontal plane which you can draw at the level of the cardiac notch over here, right? And this if you are auscultating in that area, so sometime you may have means hyper resonant means on percussion you may have the hyper resonant area which lies because of the presence of this fundus, which may go up to fifth or sixth intercostal space on the left side. So you should know this part of the stomach mostly carries gases or the air, but the food stuff will be coming in the body part or in the part. This fundus is generally distended by air, right? And sometime under the diaphragm, you will be able to see that lucent area, very hyperinflated radiolucent area. That is because of the gases which is present in your fundus over here, right? Then comes the body. Now, if you talk about the pyloric part, so this pyloric part over here, this pyloric part is the funnel shaped outflow region of your stomach. If you draw a line inferiorly and towards the proximal to this is cardiac, and here is the pyloric part, right? So this is the pyloric, distended part is the pyloric antrum, and this muscular part, which basically forms the anatomical sphincter, is your pyloric canal over here. So this pyloric antrum, which is basically wider part, and the sulcus, which I was telling you, will be passing through here, which contains a vein within it. So you can very well differentiate between the pyloric antrum as well as between the pyloric canal because of the presence of the sulcus, which runs between these two parts, which carry a vein. And then distal to that sphincter will be your duodenum. So this is pyloric antrum. Then you have the narrow tubular part, which is your pyloric canal. And afterwards you have the duodenum. So basically we divided the stomach into cardiac part, and this cardiac part is further divided into fundus as well as in body. The pyloric part, distended one, is basically pyloric antrum, and the pyloric canal, which is muscular. Now the main difference, which will be, I am not aware whether आपको histology में बताया है या नहीं, but the most important functional aspect that the cardiac part of your stomach contain all three types of the secretory cells, like your mucus cell, like your chief cell, like your parietal cells, while the pyloric part mainly contained the mucus cell. So this is how you can differentiate histologically also, if slide is being provided to you, because pyloric part is just simply a passage between the body, between the cardiac part of the stomach, and through which it is communicating with that of the duodenum, which is the part of your small intestine. Okay, so what we have seen two ends, cardiac and the pyloric end, two ends, two curvature, two surfaces. Now let us see what are the peritoneal relation. So if you talk about the peritoneal relation, we know the stomach is a peritoneal organ which is covered on both sides. On both of its aspects, they are covered by the peritoneum. It's not a retroperitoneal organ, it is a peritoneal organ. So it is covered anteriorly as well as posteriorly with that of the peritoneum. So along the lesser curvature, the anterior as well as posterior layer of the peritoneum, they continue and attach along the lesser curvature and moves towards the liver as a lesser omentum. Similarly, if you talk along the greater curvature, this greater curvature basically give attachment to the greater momentum, because both the layers and from anterior and posterior side, they are continuous as the greater momentum. This greater curvature also provide attachment to the ligaments, जो कि आपको पेरिटोनियल जब पढ़ाई गई होगी तो बताया गया होगा. So already that is the provide attachment to not only to the greater momentum, but with that of the ligament or the peritoneal thickening which runs between your gastric and the splenic part. So gastrosplenic ligament, as well as the thickening of the peritoneum from the proximal part of the fundus over here up to your what you say diaphragm. So that is the phrenic part. So that is the gastrophrenic ligament. So basically this lesser curvature gives attachment to the lesser omentum. This is to the greater omentum, and from here you have the gastrophrenic ligament, which is nothing but the thickening or the thickened part which runs between your fundus and the diaphragm, under surface of diaphragm, and from here to your spleen, which is your gastrosplenic ligament. So this is the what you say peritoneal relations of your stomach. So gastrosplenic ligament extend from the upper. Gastrophrenic ligament extend from the uppermost parts from here. So firstly gastrophrenic, then you have gastrosplenic ligament, and here this is the attachment of greater omentum. So you can see in this picture, this is lesser omentum, here this is the greater omentum. From here this is the gastrophrenic and gastrosplenic. So this is the gastrosplenic ligament. You can see spleen in this picture also. Okay. Now what are the bare areas? किसी भी विसरा के bare area जहाँ पे आपका peritoneum नहीं है. So the bare area of stomachs, basically there are two important bare area. One lies along the lesser and the greater curvature, because anterior layer continuous हो गई, posterior भी मिल गई, तो the immediately at the lesser and the greater curvature there will be no peritoneum. So that is the bare area. So that will be the bare area, or where you will not find any peritoneum. Now what about the visceral relations? So I will show you one photographs, and then you can very well correlate with this 2 or 3 pictures I will be showing you. If you just look, so we know anterior superiorly it is in relation with that of the diaphragm, and outside the diaphragm anterior superiorly it is also related with the sometimes even some spaces on the left side. We know the left lobe of the liver also lies anteriorly deep to the anterior abdominal wall, and of course the superior most will means the superficial relation will be that of the anterior abdominal wall. So if you know where this stomach is located, you can very well easily correlate this anterior visceral relation of your stomach. So it lies in relation with the diaphragm, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th rib, along with the intercostal spaces, corresponding intercostal. See here in this is a representative line diagram of anterior superior surface. So we know liver runs like this. So this is the hepatic relation. This is the diaphragmatic relation. Diaphragm is there, and you have the, of course, ribs, 7th, then 8th, then 9th, then 10th. So sometime even 6th, and the intercostal spaces. So anterior superior surface lies in relation with that of the diaphragm over here. And of course, here this is the costal margin on the left side. Here is the costal margin. 6th, then 7th, which will be forming the costal margin. So 7th, then 8th, then 9th, and 10th, like that. 11th and 12th does not make any anterior relation, because those are false ribs lying only and only on the posterior side. So this is the relation of the visceral relation of anterior superior surface. This is same thing in the same anterior superior relation. You can see here this is liver, and we have just pulled the liver up. This is the left loop of the liver which lies over here. This is on the anterior surface of your stomach over here. This is now posteriorly. If the same thing, if you are looking from the posterior side, you can very well appreciate the relation of spleen, which is here. Now you are looking from the posterior side, pancreas, then of course the mesocolon, renal, and the suprarenal. So this is, you can correlate if you know how your abdomen is oriented, जो आपको इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ एब्डोमेन में ऑलरेडी बताया गया होगा. अगर आपने नहीं ध्यान दिया है तो भी 11th 12th में ये आपको पढ़ते थे अपन बायोलॉजी में. सो जस्ट ट्राई टू कोरिलेट. नाउ other than that, this is another picture of the same thing. We have removed the stomach, or which is marked with a this dark black line. This is the cardiac end, this is the pyloric end. We know here is the spleen, so the splenic relation. This is the kidney relation, this is the pancreas, then of course mesocolon of the transverse colon. So this all structure which lies posterior to your stomach, they are termed as the stomach bed. Because sometimes short note may come on this important relation, which is nothing but the posterior inferior relation of your stomach, which are the visceral relation, because these all viscera forms the posterior relation of your stomach. So they may ask, describe means, or it may come as a short note, we describe the stomach bed. So this is nothing but the posterior relation of your stomach. You can see here. So the posterior relation, of course, you have the diaphragm on the posterior side, then the left suprarenal, upper part of left kidney, of course, pancreas passes. So the anterior surface of pancreas, to be specific. Then you have spleen, left colic flexure, and the upper layer of the transverse mesocolon. So they form a bed for the stomach, which is termed as the stomach bed. Now, very brief about the interior of the stomach. So you can see here, these are the mucosal fold. And if you look here, this is, if you look on the along the lesser curvature, so you can very well differentiate that this vertically placed the mucosal fold forms the gastric canal. So whenever we are drinking anything liquid, specifically liquid, it passes rather going directly fundus. It will not go into the fundus area, but it will directly pass along the lesser curvature up to the duodenum. That's why if we drink any carbonated drink or any non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug like paracetamol or aspirin, chances of having the gastric ulceration is more along the lesser curvature. So this is the gastric canal. Because of the vertical, this mucosal fold forms this canal. This is the gastric canal. These are the gastric rugae, folds of the mucus layer of the stomach. This is the gastric canal. Already I mentioned you. Now let us see the blood supply. So the stomach is getting its blood supply through 3 branches of the celiac trunk. So we know stomach is a part of foregut developmentally. So for foregut, we have the celiac trunk. For midgut, we have superior mesenteric artery. For hindgut, we have inferior mesenteric artery. Stomach is derived from the foregut. So the main arterial supply will be through the celiac trunk. So let us see what are the branches arising from the celiac trunk, which are responsible for the blood supply of your stomach. So this is again very important and very easy to remember if you look in a systemic way. So it is basically getting its blood supply through few main branches. One is the left gastric artery, second is the splenic artery, and then you have the common hepatic or the common hepatic, and then this common hepatic will be giving another branch, which is the, I will show you pictures, don't worry, the proper hepatic artery, and through proper hepatic also you will be getting some blood supply. So I will show you with the help of 1 or 2 slides. So basically left gastric artery, the splenic artery, the common hepatic, and the branch of common hepatic, which is the proper hepatic artery. So these 3 branches of celiac trunk basically give arterial supply to the stomach. Now splenic artery gives through the left, which also gives basically short gastric arteries, and the left gastroepiploic artery. I will show you picture, then it will be easy to correlate. So let us see with this figure. Basically, this is the abdominal aorta, which is lying on the posterior abdominal wall, and at around T12, there is an opening for the abdominal aorta in the diaphragm at around the level of the T12 vertebra, and immediately as it enters into the abdominal cavity from the diaphragm, the same thoracic aorta is now termed as the abdominal aorta. And the first artery, the first branch of abdominal aorta the first branch of abdominal basically aorta is the inferior phrenic artery, which supplies the inferior aspect of the your diaphragm. But afterward, this is the second branch which is arising from your what you say uh, abdominal aorta basically. So this is the celiac trunk. So basically, if you talk about the celiac trunk is the ventral branch of anterior of the abdominal aorta on the ventral side, which arises at the level of L1 vertebra, क्योंकि T12 पे ये बाहर निकलती है और L1 पे immediately निकलते ही L1 vertebra के correspond ventral side से जो पहली branch निकलती है, that is your the celiac trunk. So this is a very short trunk. You can see in humans it is around 1 to 1.25 centimeter long only. So this is a very wide but short ventral branch of the abdominal aorta, which immediately below to the aortic opening basically originate immediately below to the aortic opening. So aortic opening is at around T12. This will originate at around L1 level or sometime between T12 to L1 vertebra. It runs forwards and give three main branches, and those three main branches are responsible for the blood supply of your stomach. So here you can see this is the left gastric artery. Left gastric artery runs upward towards the esophagus and then give the esophageal branches over here. And other than that, it also gives short branches to the along the lesser curvature of your stomach. Over here you can see this is the second important branch, which is the splenic artery, which runs towards the spleen, and then it gives 5 terminal basically splenic branches plus some short gastric branches. Over here you can see, so this is the short gastric branches. Those are nothing but the branches of the splenic artery. And the third main important branch of this splenic artery is the left gastroepiploic artery over here. And this left gastroepiploic artery, which runs along the greater curvature of the omentum, also gives some branches to your stomach. So first is your left gastric. This gives branches to the lower end of the esophagus. Then through short branches, this gives blood supply to the stomach. This is the splenic artery, which gives 4 or 5 terminal splenic branches. Other than that, it gives 4 or 5 to 7 short gastric rather branches. And this left gastroepiploic artery, and through this left gastroepiploic also it is getting its blood supply. Now, the third, which I mentioned earlier, was this is the common hepatic artery, which further give proper hepatic artery. So you can see from the common hepatic, there is one very important branch, which is the gastroduodenal. So this is the gastroduodenal branch is coming. And from the proper hepatic, you have another branch, which is termed as the right gastric. So basically, celiac trunk give 3 branches: left gastric, splenic, common hepatic. This left gastric, this splenic, and the common hepatic will further give some branches, and the important branches I already mentioned will be responsible for the blood supply of your stomach. So here is the left gastric, the splenic, and then the common hepatic and the proper hepatic, which is nothing but the branch. Proper hepatic is the branch of common hepatic. So here, this is the common hepatic branch. So these are the 3 main arteries responsible for the blood supply of your stomach. And further, you can see the splenic artery via short gastric arteries, splenic artery via left gastroepiploic arteries. Then if you look here, the right gastric via hepatic proper. Then you have the gastroduodenal, which was coming directly from the common hepatic, and which give further the right gastroepiploic, and through right gastroepiploic, it is basically supplying the stomach. So stomach is getting its blood supply from all the 3 branches of celiac trunk, named left gastric, splenic, and the common hepatic and their branches. Similarly, venous drainage tells us the arterial supply. The only thing you need to understand is that the right and left gastric vein, which basically runs along the right and left gastric artery, drain into the portal vein. Right gastroepiploic drain into the superior mesenteric vein, while the left gastroepiploic will be draining into the splenic vein. So if you look here, so this is the right gastric artery, this is the left gastric artery. So correspondingly, there will be veins. Here you have the left gastroepiploic artery. So the left gastroepiploic vein will be draining into the splenic vein. And similarly, if you look here, the right gastroepiploic, so along with the right gastroepiploic, there will be a right gastroepiploic vein which will be draining into the superior mesenteric vein. So similarly, you can correlate the same venous drainage of the stomach. Now, there are some very two important clinical aspects which I am not going to explain here, but that I will be giving you as a homework. We can discuss in the afternoon session. One is you try to correlate what is the gastric triangle. Just note down, because you need to come prepared what is the gastric triangle, what is the clinical importance of gastric triangle, and what is the top space. So please note down these two words, because this is a exercise or the homework in the very important clinical relations. Okay, now the another thing which is very important relation to your stomach is the pattern of the lymphatic drainage or the lymphatic drainage of your stomach. So, but before I start with the lymphatic drainage of stomach, I will give you a brief idea about the lymphatic drainage in abdomen as a whole. So you have some pre-aortic lymph nodes. You have like celiac, which is responsible for the foregut. Then you have the superior mesenteric, which is responsible for the lymphatic drainage of midgut. Then we have the inferior mesenteric pre-aortic lymph node responsible for the drainage of the hindgut. Similarly, these three will be ultimately draining into the intestinal trunk. And similarly, you have the para-aortic, means parallel to the aorta, you have some important lymph nodes responsible like for the suprarenal, kidney and gonads and the lower limb drainage, and those will be trunk, the intestinal trunk. Ultimately, both these lumbar or the intestinal trunks, they will be going into the cisterna chyli, and through there it will be continue as a thoracic duct. So this is the journal how from the abdominal cavity basically lymphatic drainage occur. So stomach is a part of foregut. So of course, ultimately through the celiac lymph node, which is the pre-aortic kind of lymph node, it will be going into the intestinal trunk, and this intestinal trunk will be draining into the cisterna chyli, and this will continue as a thoracic duct, and which ultimately will be draining into the systemic venous channel. So this is the general pattern of the lymphatic drainage. So this is how your stomach basically lymphatics of drainage of the stomach. So we have these basically 5 sets of lymph nodes: pancreatico-splenic, right gastroepiploic, pyloric, left gastric, and the hepatic lymph nodes, and they drain the corresponding area. I will show you in this picture. So you can see, if you simply divide, just for the descriptive purpose, just draw along the long axis a line, and then from the upper 1/3 draw a horizontal, approximately horizontal line towards the left side. So you can divide this stomach into different areas. So this area over here, that this part is the left part of the fundus or the upper part of the body. In this area will be draining into the pancreatico-splenic group of lymph nodes. Then ultimately this will be going into the splenic lymph nodes, which runs along the splenic artery. Here the lower towards the gastric curvature, this area of the body of your stomach will be going into the right gastroepiploic group of lymph nodes. So if you are oriented, जब आपको एंटीरियर एब्डोमिनल वॉल पढ़ाया गया या जस्ट आपको एब्डोमिनल का आपको एक ओरिएंटेशन दिया गया, सो वी नो हमको उसी तरह से यहाँ करना है ताकि रटने की दिक्कत नहीं रहे. एनीथिंग विच इज फ्रॉम द पेनक्रियाटिक साइड, स्प्लिनिक साइड, right gastroepiploic, left gastroepiploic, because we know the epiploic foramen over here जो आपको पेरिटोनियम में पढ़ाया गया था. So accordingly these lymph nodes are named basically. ऐसा नहीं है कि अलग से पैदा हो गए. So first is the pancreatosplenic, then it will go into the splenic lymph nodes. This area will be going into the right gastroepiploid. Then the pyloric area will be going into the pyloric node, and left gastric will be this area it will be going into the left